What's up, everybody? Welcome to the fifth episode of the one and only Chiloni Sports vlog. I want to thank everybody for still watching and listening. If anybody has questions, comments, likes or dislikes, Facebook me when I post up the vid, or IM me on Facebook, James Chiloni. For anybody that's got my number, text me. And you can always do the old school email. I can't believe I'm saying old school, but it's old school. It's 20 years. It's almost a 20-year anniversary of when Prodigy went online, so I could say that. And email is james.r.chaloni@wmich.edu. Tonight's topics will be covering Robinson Cano and Mariners, NFL free agency, Phil Jackson and the Knicks, UFC, some more UFC news that happened last week, NFL free agency that people have asked, and I will do a quick two kind of conference college basketball, who I think is going to win in two conferences, and that. I'm going to start off with, usually I start off with the listener questions and whatnot, but you guys know me. I'm a diehard Seattle sports fan. And if people saw this Sunday, Robinson Cano came out and said that we need more offense. And I'd like to see him go get Kendrys Morales and Irvin Santana. I commend Robinson Cano. Thank you, Robinson Cano. We need a voice. The Mariners need a voice. And I don't know why the Mariners haven't talked to Kendrys Morales yet and bringing an additional insurance bat. Because I already know Corey Hart's going to get hurt by June. I just have a gut. I didn't like the signing, even though it was low reward, high risk. I still just don't think it's going to be a healthy Corey Hart season. And that's why I think signing Kendrys Morales to fix that will help plug that hole, because Corey Hart was going to play first base and outfield a little bit, splitting with Justice Smoke a little bit, and playing DH. Kendrys Morales could DH, play first base, and that would take care of some of the problems. And signing Irvin Santana, I've been preaching this for everybody that knows me. I've wanted Irvin Santana and Safeco. Safeco's a huge pitcher's park. I think all his numbers will be better than last year's that he pitched for the Royals and Kauffman. But I think the thing that's scaring away teams with Irvin Santana and Kendrys Morales is the draft pick compensation. And that's what drives me bananas. I don't like the draft pick compensation with MLB. I think it's really, really, what's the word I'm looking for? Ignorant. I say it's ignorant, because you see the GMs of these teams slap a compensation pick, and then you got to throw a first round or second or third round pick to the team that signs them. Well, that's why most of these free agents are still out, like Irvin Santana and Kendrys Morales, that are out there. I think MLB needs to look at this rule soon, because that's what's scaring some of these teams off, is giving away possibly a prospect that's going to be ready to go play in the majors in 2 years with certain teams. And that's what I think MLB needs to look at, is after spring training starts, they need to set it, because I believe MLB is like a 50-round draft. What needs to happen is they need to set certain dates, like with the draft compensation, like when a free agency starts, rounds 1 through 5, the first month of December, and then when January comes, rounds 5 through 10 for compensation of the pick, and then once spring training starts, they should be eligible to be eligible just to be a free agent. So I think I think that draft compensation would be better for the free agents as a whole. I think for Major League Baseball as a whole. I think with some of these free agents that get slapped with compensation, their market does drop with this, and I think it's just stupid. It's just idiotic. I think it just needs to be looked at as a whole and within the system, and I hope MLB does that, but I highly doubt it's going to happen. Uh, Moving forward, uh, I know I hate. I know if people don't like the UFC, fast forward, more than welcome to. As of last week, Las Vegas Athletic Commission has banned testosterone replacement theory. And people are saying, okay, Chaloni, why is this important? Well, some of the big name fighters used TRTs before the fight. One of them was Vitor Belfort, who was going to fight in Vegas against Chris Weidman. That fight was originally set for Memorial Day weekend. Well, that fight's not going to happen now because Vitor got ruling on that. He hasn't fought in Vegas since '06, so he didn't want to go through the craziness of that again. I think what's going to happen is that Vitor is going to go to Dana saying, I will take another fight. It's not going to be in Vegas. You want me to headline a Brazil pay-per-view or a Texas pay-per-view or a pay-per-view somewhere else where I can still use TRT. I don't know if TRT is going to become a whole MMA ban, but we'll wait and see on that. But now, since Machida outpointed, uh, who did he? But as I was saying, with Machida gets now the title fight against Chris Weidman, and it's big for Machida. It's great for Machida. Even only having two fights at 105, 185, it's still going to be scary because Machida is just scary good, and people better be ready because Weidman better get ready for a fight. He's going to get a fight coming to him because Weidman has faced Anderson Silva twice. Anderson Silva and Machida kind of like the same fighter, but Machida's more skilled in the karate. And that's what I love about Machida. Um, he is a more well-rounded fighter than Vitor Belfort, in my opinion. He outpointed Musasi. It was a very decent fight between Machida and Musasi, and I apologize about that. I should have known that better. Um, but some other big names fighters that use it, but I think Dan Henderson's almost done. He's retired. Chael Sonnen, who I love, Uncle Chael. That's gonna be a somewhat of a big blow to him too, and it's gonna be a it's gonna be a wait and see on how this TRT ban now in Nevada is going to happen with some of these fighters that were using TRT. Uh, as well, yeah. And as you guys know, the NHL trade deadline was yesterday. As well, I want as oh yeah, it was yesterday. Was it? No, it was Tuesday. I apologize. It was Tuesday. Uh, Leguan going to the Wings is big. I really think it's going to help the Wings. As you guys know, Datsuk's been hurt. I think that helps the Wings with that. I think that trade was just specifically just because of the Datsuk injury, and I think that will help. As well, last night, the Wings retired arguably in my opinion, one of the greatest defensemen in the last 25 years, Nicholas Lundstrom. I remember watching some of his games in his prime when I was a kid, and when I just moved here when the Wings were going to the Stanley Cup almost every year, almost every other year. I loved Lindstrom. He's a hell of a defenseman. And and that's when I liked hockey. I know people are going, Chaloney, stop talking. I had a person saying, Chaloney, stop talking hockey. You know what you're talking about. And I'm going to say yes. I don't know what I'm talking about a whole lot, heck of a lot with hockey, because I liked it how it was when I was younger, when I was a kid, and when I was in high school. You could actually, there was more fights in more fights in hockey now, hockey then than it is now, which I love, because if you had a beef on the ice when you're playing, you could have just thrown down and just scrap. And people know what I'm talking about, because Red Wings Avalanche, all you could see was, all it was brawl after brawl after brawl, which I love. It was a rivalry you could throw down, not how it is now, where you only see maybe five to maybe 5 to 10 fights a year. I've only seen maybe 3 big brawls so far this year, so there's maybe scheduled 2 left. We'll wait and see. That's what I just don't like about hockey anymore. And plus, I liked it when there was actually some decent announcers nationally. I'm not knocking on FSD. I love Mickey York and ncaa. I love listening to some games on the radio. And Ken Daniels, they they are great hockey announcer wise. But I'm talking like NBC. NBC it's just garbage. I hate Pierre. I it just, they're stating the obvious, and that's why I loved Bill Thorne doing hockey games on ESPN. It was just great, and especially during the Rangers Devils rivalries when I was younger, before I moved here, when I was 10, 11 years old. Those were just great rivalry games, and that's what I loved about hockey when I was a kid. It's like you could actually play. If you had a beef, you could fight right then and there and have a skirmish right there. And that, it's not like how it was 15 years ago, and that's what I miss. And that's why that's why I'm just not a big hockey guy, and that's why I'm explaining that why I don't talk a whole lot about hockey. I like the nostalgic of the game, where if you got a problem, drop the gloves and start swinging. You know, that's how I see it. I understand I live in Michigan and I should be more into hockey, but at the same time, when coming as a West Coast guy, watching it when I was a kid out there, I see a whole totally different product than it was 20 years ago, and I can't stand the shootout. I'm telling you right now, I think ties are better, and it saves the players' legs a little bit more, in my opinion, um, on that. So, kudos to Nick Lindstrom retiring. When he is up to be in the Hall of Fame, I think he'll be a first-year Hall of Famer without a shadow of a doubt. And that's how I see that. As well, I'm going to hit the NFL free agency up right now. A couple big signings and re-signings have already happened. Brent Grimes, 4-year, $32 million with Miami, which is crazy. Charles Tillman's still out there, even though he's a little bit older than Grimes by, I think, about 1 or 2 years. I think he's still going to get 10 plus. I think Tillman's a better corner than Grimes, in my opinion, because Grimes usually tears his knee, but Tillman usually plays through crazy injuries. And I think Tillman has better production than Grimes. I still think he's going to get 10 mil plus. Oakland has 60 mil. I think getting Tillman, even though at 32, I could still probably see 3 and 27, near 30 million. But we'll wait and see. I'd love Oakland to go get some of these big name free agents like Eric Decker. He's out there. As well, I'd like to see a Raiders re-sign Woodson. He played most of his career there. I'd love to see him retire as a Raider, or I would like to see the Lions go get Woodson as a Michigan man, and retire near home. I would like to see that too. I think Woodson's going to come on the cheap, maybe around 2.5, 3 mil. I'd like to see the Lions possibly go get Akeem Nicks. I think Akeem Nicks, and this is where I would like to. This is people are forgetting about Akeem Nicks. I know Akeem Nicks has been not the same Akeem Nicks the last 2 years, but he's been playing in the deads of the Giants. I think what happened was everyone saw Nicks as a possible a la Calvin Johnson big receiver prototype, and that's why he got more double, triple covered 2 years ago. And this year, and two and a half years ago, when he had a big year, and Eli was just relying on Akeem Nicks, and then emerged Victor Cruz. And people might disagree with me on this, but Eli always tends to favor receivers. I've noticed that with Eli. Like when Plaxico was there, he would always try to find Plax first before anybody else. So, and that's why I think that's why Knicks is going to be on it cheap. I could see a 2 year, maybe 13 mil, and I'd like to see him go. I think the Lions might be a decent fit, but like I said, we'll wait and see. I'm hearing rumors they're looking at Robert Meacham and possibly Lance Moore. I'm not big on Moore anymore. I think he's on the decline side. I think with Knicks, I think you put him with the right team, he's going to get motivated and he's going to get more open space. But like I said, we'll wait and see. I think Akeem Nicks is going to be the most interesting wide receiver free agent in that group. And people are probably going to ask me, Jeloni, I know you're a Raiders fan. Where do you see your former number one pick, Darren McFadden, going? Here's the kicker. McFadden's always been injury prone. And people that play fantasy football that watch this know McFadden's a boom or bust kind of guy. You're either going to get him for a full year healthy and he's going to do some damage, or you're going to get spurts of Darren McFadden where he's healthy for 4 to 6 games, and then he's out 4 to 6 games, and then he plays the last 2 to 4, or he gets hurt again. That's the kicker. I don't know where McFadden is going. I haven't heard anything on Darren McFadden. People saying he might go to Cincy. I doubt it. I can see him possibly going to Arizona because the Arizona run game is horrible. I'm hearing rumors that Rashad Mendenhall might be calling it a career, but we'll wait and see. I could possibly see Darren McFadden going to Houston as well, having Arian Foster / Darren McFadden 1-2 combo. Maybe Jacksonville is another. Possibly Atlanta with Steven Jackson having a McFadden-Jackson combo, but Jaquiz is still there, and Jaquiz still played decent. I could see him possibly going to the Giants, because with how much just uncertainty at that spot with Andre Ware and David Brown. Like I said, it's all up in the air. I don't know where Darren McFadden is going. It's a wait and see. But, yeah. Michael Bennett, I think, is going to be possibly the biggest defensive free agent out there. As you guys know, diehard Seahawks fan. I don't think the Seahawks are going to be able to re-sign him. I think he's going to get I think he's going to get possibly about the same that Cliff Averill got last year. And that was about 8.5 a year. I see him going either, like I said, Oakland's got $60 million. I could see Michael Bennett possibly going there and Oakland overpaying for him a little bit. I think you might see Michael Bennett around 3 and 30. I think Tillman and Michael Bennett you will see probably as the top paid free agents next to Eric Decker. Decker's market I haven't heard a whole lot of yet. I'm hearing some slight rumors that he's going to go to Indy. I don't know if that's going to happen with Indy signing DeQuell Jackson yesterday to a 4-22, which I think is a huge pickup for Indy because that improves that defense. I don't know how much more money Indy's got to play with. That's the kicker. There's still some knocks on Eric Decker, saying people are saying that he is not a number one. I think he's not a number one. I think he's a strong. I think he's a low end one, number two for sure. Um, I don't know. That's the kicker. It's who's gonna go pay for him. And if you guys been reading, Riley Cooper got 5-25 with Philly, so that's gonna set the standard. But I think Decker's gonna get more than that. I think Decker's probably gonna get almost around 10 as well, just because just because how well his numbers were the last couple of years. So we'll wait and see. It's like I said, this market is really crazy. I know probably somebody's gonna ask me about what about Michael Vick? Where do you think he's gonna go? I think the QB and linebacker market is the weakest position-wise in the free agency. I Adrian Peterson came out and is trying to recruit Michael Vick to come play in Minnesota. See, and Michael Vick in Minnesota. That's the kicker. Where do you leave Minnesota? Where does that leave Minnesota in 2 years? I think Michael Vick's maybe got 2 years left playing decent QB. I don't see Michael Vick playing. I think he's going to get a starting QB job for 2 years. But you're not going to see Michael Vick get more than 6-7 million. I really don't. I see 2 years, 12 million, 2 years, 14 million, and the destination's unknown. Maybe Oakland, maybe Cleveland. Jacksonville ain't gonna happen now since they signed Chad Henne today, re-signing Chad Henne today to a 2-year deal. I could see Vic maybe in Houston, depending on where Houston wants to do with that first pick. But I got a gut feeling it's going to be Blake Bortles after the Clowney. I'm going to say Clowney being Clowney and is lazy. I'm sorry. People telling me, no, Clowney's still going to go 1. I'm like, you know what? I don't think Clowney's going to go 1. The guy ran a 40 and just said, I'm done. Goes, I'm not going to live to do anything else. I'm just going to come here and run the 40. Runs the 40. That's it. He could have shut everybody up, did all the drills, and he could have solidified the number 1 pick. But he didn't. So I still see Clowney going to number 3 Jacksonville. I really do. But enough NFL free agency. As you guys heard, I don't know if you guys have been following the sports today. Arguably one of the greatest coaches of all time, Phil Jackson, was contacted by the Knicks to either coach or have a free front office job with the New York Knicks. Phil Jackson played for the Knicks in the 70s. Phil Jackson, to me, I think would be a very good GM or a very good president or vice president of pro personnel. If the Knicks give him enough money, I think he'll do it. I think his coaching days are behind him because of health reasons and how much coaching takes a toll on your body. But I think a front office job, if given the right amount of money, will happen. And I think Phil Jackson is a very good, very, very good start to returning that Knicks franchise. I think the Knicks are going to be in shambles. I don't know if you guys read that Carmelo is probably going to be on the outs. There was reports came out Wednesday saying Joakim Noah and Carmelo Anthony have talked about Tom Thibodeau and how he coaches. Joakim Noah came out and said he would love for Carmelo to join the Bulls. Derrick Rose said he's more than welcome for Carmelo to come play in Chicago. Like I said, it's going to be a very interesting summer. Carmelo to Chicago, I think, is actually feasible. with the new amnesty clause, they could possibly waive Carlos Boozer's $15 million. Dunleavy's contract could be traded for three and a half. That's about 18 and a half right there. I'm not 100% sure on Boozer getting 15. It's either 15 or 16, but 18 to 18 and a half coming to Chicago. If the Knicks gave a max contract, it'd be about 23, 24 million. So the question is, does Carmelo want to be Carmelo and get 5-6 million more and just do it for the money? Or does he finally see going, yeah, I need to go play for a winner and try to go get a ring and come to Chicago? I'm saying this right now. If the Bulls do manage the cap and get Carmelo, look out, ladies and gentlemen. If Derrick Rose's knees can be healthy, or if he can be 50 to 75% the Derrick Rose he was with Carmelo, I think you're going to see more of a non-slash Derrick Rose kind of guy going to the rim. I think you're going to see more Derrick Rose of a passer. Derrick Rose, Carmelo Anthony, Joakim Noah in Chicago, that might give the Heat some fits, especially if Bron goes to Cleveland. But I don't know if that's going to happen yet. But there's some starting to see some signs that it actually might happen. Reports came out yesterday that LeBron James is going to Cleveland. I don't know if he's going to be in the stands, or if he's going to be sitting near the bench, or if he's going to be sitting near the locker rooms to watch one of his good friends, Ilgauskas' retirement, Zydrunas Ilgauskas' retirement, to get his jersey hanged and be there to see him retire his jersey. Ilgauskas and LeBron James have been very good friends since LeBron James started his career in Cleveland. Ilgauskas is now the assistant GM in Cleveland, which I did not know until a couple days ago. Ilgauskas did follow LeBron James after he went to Miami. James went to Miami. Ilgauskas' contract ended. Ilgauskas played, I believe, 2 years in Miami with LeBron. So, and that's going to be, this is going to be interesting. Like I said, the decision that was with LeBron James going to Miami 4 years ago had an early termination option clause this summer. So we'll know here in about 2.5 months, 3 months on what is the big three going to do with LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. Are they going to terminate? Or are they going to stick around and try to become an ultimate dynasty? What I think is going to happen, this may be nuts saying this, but I think they're going to terminate. Dwayne Wade needs it. He's not a $17-18 million guy anymore. I think he's half that because his knees are going quick, in my opinion. LeBron James is that. I think Chris Bosh he's near that, but I don't think he's near 17-18 million. I'd say 13 to 15 million at most. But like I said, it's a wait and see. I think Chris Bosh is a better player if he's running a team like LeBron. But it's all wait and see. Paul Gasol is going to be a free agent too. I think it's going to be an interesting summer. I don't think you're going to see the Lakers making a whole lot of moves until next February, and a year from now. Like I said, I think Kevin Love might be a legitimate option. I think they're looking at next year when Steve Nash's contract and it's only Kobe Bryant and whoever the rookies that got drafted this summer and Robert Sacre as the only contracts on the books, and that would be about $27.5 million. So the Lakers would probably have about $30 to $40 million to go play with next summer for Kevin Love, Rajon Rondo, and LaMarcus Aldridge. So it'll be interesting. What does Mitch Kupchak and Dr. Jim Buss do? What Jim Buss does with the Lakers organization. I said in a couple vlogs ago that I think the Lakers are 2 years away from being back as the Lakers. I'd like to see, and I'm interested. I'm very interested to see what the Laker organization does. Because you guys know me, I'm a West Coast guy. I'm a diehard Lakers fan. I'm a big time Blazers fan. And people are gonna go, yeah, how are you a big time Blazers fan? I love the Blazers organization. I love Damian Lillard. I like LaMarcus Aldridge. I'm a huge fan of Nicholas Batum. But we need the NBA needs to get back to the status quo. People going, we want the Lakers back to being the Lakers. So anyway, I have gone almost 31 minutes. I hope you guys enjoyed the vlog. I am definitely going to try to. Oh, and I did forget about college basketball. I'll take care of that here right now. West Coast Conference, Missouri Valley Conference is this weekend. Missouri Valley. If Wichita State doesn't win it, I'll be floored, and that's that. West Coast Conference, it's either going to be Gonzaga, BYU, and possibly St. Mary's. I like Gonzaga winning the conference, BYU getting in at large. And speaking of which, I'm going to definitely try to do next week Wednesday or Thursday, because that's when all the major tournaments, conference tournaments start. My favorite time of the year is here. Next week's vlog will be here. The week after will be on location somewhere else. I'll be in my old stomping grounds of Western Michigan, which their team, by the way, is fighting for a possible spot in the tourney right now. We'll wait and see when the MAC brackets get released next week. Yeah, I'm going to try next week. My goal is Wednesday to cover just all of that. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of news. I'll be covering a lot of that, and probably just the UFC pay-per-view, because it's a very big pay-per-view next Saturday. That's probably going to be the only two topics I will cover, because I'll probably be going in depth with all the major conferences. I might be playing the Chaloni crystal ball of predicting on who's going to win, how many teams each conference will see getting in the tourney. It's here, ladies and gentlemen. You guys know my motto: embrace the madness, accept it. It's coming. I'm so excited. 9 days and counting, ladies and gentlemen. It is here. All right, I am signing off. This is the one and only Chaloni. Like I said, email me, james.r.chaloni@wmich.edu. Text for everyone who knows me, or IM me, or Facebook me at James Chaloni. Embrace the madness. And everyone have a good weekend. Later. Be safe.